Hi dear students, welcome to Geeta's classes. Now we are going to revise Unit 4 of COSM. So in Unit 4 we have two topics, one is estimation and another one is tests of hypothesis. One part is estimation and another one is tests of hypothesis for large samples. Okay, in estimation we have different formulas. We have point estimation, interval estimation, and we have done so many problems in that, and we have to remember these formulas. E is equal to population. We can estimate mu, you can estimate the population proportion. Here we should remember these points always. I tell you this, for even for test of hypothesis or estimation you should remember these things. One is population and samples. Actually from sample, if you want to decide, if you want to find out the characteristics of the population, we are taking samples and we are analyzing the characteristics of the samples, and depending on that we are deciding the nature of the population. Okay, characteristics of the population. And there are some standard notations here. Sample size, size of the population is capital N, size of the sample is small n, and mean of the population is denoted by mu, and the sample of this population is denoted by x bar, and the standard deviation of the population is sigma, and here we denote it by small s, and variance sigma squared, and here it is small s squared. And in large population, sometimes if sigma is unknown, you can replace it by small s. Okay, and these are called population parameters. And sample statistics. Okay, these are the standard notations. So using this only, we will, whenever you are finding the test statistic also, you should know from the given problem what is given, whether it is mu or x bar, sigma or s, everything you have to remember. Okay, so do it properly. And we have seen the region, and we have seen the formulas for estimations. It can be for mean, you can estimate for mu, mean mu, and proportion capital P also you can do. So n is equal to, these are the formulas, I am just recollecting the formulas. N is equal to z sigma by E the whole square. This is the sample size for mean. To estimate the mean, this is the sample size. E is called the standard error, and the theory part I have given, please go through that. Okay, all the theory parts are also important, even each and every definition is important in this. Similarly, if it is for proportion, then n is equal to z squared into, or z into E is equal to z into pq by n, root of pq by n. Okay, here if it is mean, this is for proportion, and for mean it is E is equal to z into sigma by root n. Okay, all these things elaborately I have explained in the classes. Okay, so please go through them. All the definitions are important. And another important thing is in the normal curve. Here this area is called 1 minus alpha. We are going to decide, actually we are analyzing the samples, no? It may be 99% true or 95% true or 98% true. Depending on that, the area will be differing. Okay, so this area is always taken as 1 minus alpha. This area is taken as 1 minus alpha. So remaining this side and this side total is alpha. Because the total area is under the curve between the x-axis and this curve, it is 1. Total area is 1. So this is 1 minus alpha, and this is alpha by 2, and this side alpha by 2. Even in t-test we have seen. And this area is called acceptable region or acceptance region. and this area is called region of rejection. Okay, and this is z is equal to 0. This side it is plus, therefore it is z alpha by 2. And if it is in the left hand side, already we have discussed here, because this is 0, left hand side means negative and right hand side is positive. Right, this is z alpha by 2, this is z minus alpha by 2, minus z alpha by 2. Okay, z value should be having a minus in the left hand side. Okay, and this point is called the critical point. This point is called critical point, or this region is also called critical region. That is, this point divides this acceptable region and region of rejection. If it is 99%, corresponding z value is called the critical points. And you have to remember these values also. If it is 95%, then remember 1.96. If it is 99%, then 2.58. And already I have taught you, even if you don't remember, you know how to write find out the value from the table. Okay, so 99%, 2.58, and 99.73% is 3, and 90% is 1.64, and 98%, if you consider, this is rarely we will consider this, 2.33, 98%. Sometimes if they may ask this also, 98%. So these 5 values please remember. 99.73 is almost 3. Okay, and 95, 1.96, 99%, 2.58, 90%, 1.64, and 98%, 2.33. These values please remember. That's all about estimation. And we have definitions of biased estimator, unbiased estimator. So many definitions are there. Please go through them. Biased estimator, unbiased estimator also. I'll do some problem on this. Okay, now. And a definite question, find the confidence interval. You can expect for 5 marks. Find the confidence interval, 99% or 95%. 1 or 2 questions you can expect from estimation. Okay. Next is types of hypothesis. Tests of hypothesis. In test of hypothesis, here you are going to see only for large samples. When will you say that the sample is large sample, n greater than or equal to 30? Then it is large sample. Here we have 2. One is for mean and one is for proportion. Depending on the question, in the question whatever is given you have to find out from that. In the mean you have 2 and proportion also you have 2, that is single mean and difference of means or 2 means. We have different formulas for this, and proportion also we have single proportion and 2 proportion. And 2 proportions. Okay, so that's all. Only 4 formulas you have to remember, only test statistics, and you know these values, z values also, you need not worry about that at all. Okay, even if the table is given or not, you know these values, right? In test of hypothesis, you have to remember the procedure. The procedure is going to be the same, only the formula for test statistic will differ. Okay, so procedure for test of hypothesis. First step, when the problem is given, even if it is half page problem, don't get scared. It is very simple. Okay, first you write the given data. From the given problem, you write the given data properly. Then next, first step in the procedure is null hypothesis. You have to write the null hypothesis H0. This is a statement of no difference. Generally, I am writing for mu is equal to mu naught, that is for mean. Okay, if mu is given as some value, mu naught is a number. If it is given, then mu is equal to mu naught. There is no difference. Always remember, null hypothesis is a statement of no difference. Statement of no difference. And alternative, next is write the alternative hypothesis, H1. H1 can be, there are three possibilities. One is mu not equal to mu naught, one is mu greater than mu naught, and another one is mu less than mu naught. So there are three possibilities. This is called two-tailed, and this is one-tailed and right-tailed. One-tailed and right-tailed. And here less than means one-tailed and left-tailed. Okay. So these are the three values, H1. So first step is null hypothesis H0. Next step is alternative hypothesis H1. Okay. This you have to write, you must write immediately after writing H1. You have to write, because from the table, if you want to find out the table value, it will differ according to whether it is two-tailed or one-tailed. It will be having different values. Okay. The next step is write the level of significance. It may be either 5% or 1%. It will be given in the question. If it is not given, you can assume 5% or 1%. But in the answer, in the conclusion, please write accept H0 at this level of significance, or reject H0 at this level of significance. Okay. Then next is type 1 error, type 2 error. This is very, before that, no, this is not over. Next is test statistics. You have to calculate the test statistic. Only here there will be difference between the methods. Okay. So test statistics, you have to calculate the Z value, because we are seeing large samples here. In unit 4 only large sample. So you have to calculate the Z value. Z value should be calculated. Okay. Using the formula. For single mean you have a different formula. For two means you have a different formula. Similarly, single proportion and two proportions. Only 4 formulas are there. Please remember, please write and by heart those formulas. Okay. So calculated Z value should be calculated like this. And next is you have to find out the table value according to the table Z value. You have to find out from the table. Therefore, now you have to always compare calculated Z to table Z value. From the table, I have given you a table actually. 1% two-tailed, 1% one-tailed, right-tailed or left-tailed. Right, you need not by heart all the 3 sets. Okay, only two-tailed and one-tailed if you remember. Both right-tailed and left-tailed, only the difference will be one negative will be there. But for calculation, for comparison purpose, we are considering only the absolute value, even if you take negative. Okay. So now compare calculated value of Z with table value of Z. If this is less than, then accept H0. Don't write table value first and calculated value next. Everything will go wrong. Okay. So please remember, C comes before T. Remember like that. C comes before T. Therefore, calculated value should be written first. Okay. So if it is less than, then accept H0. If it is greater than, calculated value is greater than table value, then reject H0. Okay. Accept H0 means it is you are rejecting H1. That is the alternative hypothesis. Okay. And reject H0 means you are accepting H1. That is always H1 is a opposite statement to H1. So whatever you are writing in this H1, that is, if you are rejecting H0, you are accepting H1. It is understood always. Okay. And we have, there are 2 types of errors. This is very, very important. Type 1 error and type 2 error. You can expect for 2 marks this definitions. Type 1 error is reject H0 when it is true. When it is true. And type 2 error is accept H0 when it is false. These are very, very important. Type 1 error, type 2 error you can expect for 2 marks question. Okay, even the definitions I am telling. So reject H0 is what? This is producer's risk. I have given you with example. I have explained all these things. This is producer's risk. One pen example I have given. So here it is customer's risk. Okay. So these are the important points, and please remember all the formulas. Okay. Now let us see problems, previous year questions, and two more questions from important point of view. Okay. So construct 95% confidence interval for the true proportion of computer literates if 47 out of 150 persons from rural areas are computer literates. So we have considered n is equal to 150. 150 persons are given. Okay, 150 persons are considered. So n is equal to 150. Always remember, when the mean is given, average of these words, you search for the words what is given. According to that, you should be able to write, you should be able to find out whether it is mean or proportion. Here 47 out of 150 persons. Out of, that is a clue for you that it is a proportion. Okay, 47 out of 150. Therefore, it is considered as a proportion. Otherwise, mean means it will be given as average of, mean of. Directly they will give, otherwise average of. So somewhere it will be mentioned. You have to search for the key point. Okay. So here 47 out of 150%. It is a clue for you that it is a proportion. Okay. Otherwise, even if you don't know this also, here they have given confidence interval for the true proportion. True proportion of computer illiterates. Okay. Therefore, from this also you can find out true proportion. Even if this is not given, then you can write construct 95% confidence interval. If 47 out of R it is computer literate, then automatically it is understood that you are going to find the confidence interval for capital P only. And please remember, capital letters for population, small letters for samples. Okay. So here what is given, 47 out of 150 persons, that is small p is equal to 47 by 150, that is 0.3133. Okay, and always remember small p plus q is equal to 1, so 1 minus 0.3133 is equal to 0.6867. Right? Now you can directly write the formula, or you can find out standard error of P is equal to root of capital PQ by N. But if capital P is not given, you can, because it is a large sample, you can replace capital B by small p and capital Q by small q. Okay. So this is equal to PQ by N. That is equal to, substitute the values, 0.3133 into 0.6867 divided by 150. That is equal to 0.0379. Okay. Now 95% confidence interval for P. Interval for capital P is, or values you can write. So small p minus 95% means 1.96. This also you have to remember. Okay, into standard error. And small p plus 1.96 into standard error. Standard error just now we have calculated. Therefore, one second. So we will be getting 0.3133. Substitute the values. 0.3133 minus 1.96 into 0.0379 and 0.3133 plus 1.96 into 0.0379. Okay. So that is equal to, if you calculate this, 0.3133 minus 0.0743, I got 0.3133 plus 0.0743. That is, these are the values, 0.239 and 0.3876. Okay. So these are the limits. Okay. Next problem, a sample of size 9 was taken from a population gave s squared is equal to 10.9. Directly they have given the values. So x bar is equal to 15.8 and s squared is 10.9. Therefore, s is equal to root of 10.9. So 3.3015. Small s is 3.3015. So 99% confidence limit, directly you write the formula x bar minus 2.58 into sigma by root n. Or you can find out the standard error separately and you can substitute, no problem. So x bar plus 2.58 into sigma by root n. Here sigma is not known, therefore you can write it, write small s value because it is smaller sample. Confidence interval R. So if you substitute, you will be getting x bar is 15.8 minus 2.58 into sigma is 3.3015 divided by root of, what is n value? Here n is equal to 9. Therefore root of 9 or 3. Comma 15.8 plus 2.58 into 3.3015 divided by 3. Okay. So if you simplify, you will be getting 12.7407 and 18.4193. Right? And some more different problems are there in the estimation. And the last year question paper, the other two problems which are test of hypothesis, already similar problem we have done in the classes. That is why I am not touching that. Okay, you can do on your own. Okay. And suppose that we observe a random variable is having a binomial distribution and get x successes in n trial. Show that x by n, first one, x by n is a unbiased estimate of the binomial parameter p, and show that x plus 1 by n plus 2 is not an unbiased estimate of the binomial parameter p. So first one, let us prove first one. Theta cap is an unbiased estimator of theta. This is the definition actually. This is a note you can write. Theta cap is an unbiased estimate of theta if expected value of theta cap is equal to theta. Okay. Always remember, if you are asked to prove that it is an unbiased estimate, then this is the definition. Okay. Expected value of this estimate is equal to the original value theta. Right. So first one, x by n we have to. So expected value of, what do you want to prove? X by n is an unbiased estimate of p. So expected value of x by n is equal to p, you have to prove. Okay. So let us consider expected value of x by n. So 1 by n I can take it outside because it is independent of this. So e of x. What is e of x? What is given? It is the random variable is having a binomial distribution. For binomial distribution, what is the expected value or mean? It is n into p. So n will get cancelled p. So we started with expected value of x by n. We have got that p. Okay. This is, we have proved that it is equal to p. Therefore, x by n is an unbiased estimate of p. Okay. Second one. Show that x plus 1 by n plus 2 is not an unbiased estimate of the binomial parameter p. So here you have to prove that expected value of x plus 1 by n plus 2 not equal to p. So this is expected value of x by n plus 2. I can divide these terms, 1 by n plus 2, which is equal to, this is a linear combination, I can separate like that. Okay. So 1 by n plus 2 I can take it out into e of x plus expected value of constant is the same, constant only. So 1 plus 1 by n plus 2. So this is equal to 1 by n plus 2 into what is e of x for binomial distribution? it is NP plus 1 by n plus 2. So I can take that outside, 1 by n plus 2 as common. So which is NP plus 1 divided by n plus 2, which is not equal to P, obviously. Therefore, n plus x plus 1 by n plus 2 is not an unbiased estimator of P. Estimate of P. Okay, this is what the second one. Next, one more question. The mean of a random sample is an unbiased estimate of the mean of the population 3, 6, 9, 15, 27. List all possible samples of size 3, okay, that can be taken without replacement. This is important, from the finite population. So how many samples? I will write the samples now. Calculate the mean of each of the sample listed in A. Then assign each sample a probability 1 by 10. Okay. So okay, first let us do the first one, then we'll come to the second part. So first part, samples of size 3 that can be taken without replacement from the finite population. How many values are there? How many sets of samples you should get? Here 5, and samples of size 3, right? So 5C3, which is equal to 5C2. You must get 10 values for this without replacement. Okay, with replacement means factorial. Here C, okay, combination you have to consider. Now, what are the samples we can take? So, what are the values? 3, 6, 9, 15, 27, right? These are the values. Now, let us write the samples first of all. 3, 6, 9, then 3, 6, 15, 3, 6, 27, right? Next is 6, 3, I cannot write it again because without replacement. So 6, 9, 15, then 6, 9, 27. Right? 6, 9, 15. You start from 3, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 15, then 3, 6, 27. 3 values I need, right? Now, next is 6. So 6, 9, you replace 3. I am not keeping it back. So 6, 9, 15, 6, 9, 27. What will be the next value then? Wait. With the 3 also we can have some more values. Wait. So 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 15, 3, 6, 27. And instead of 6 I can consider 3, 9. Without this 6, 3, 9, 15 also I can consider, right? So 3, 9, 15, 3, 9, 27. And I can leave 6 and 9, 3, 15, 27 also I can write. So 3, 15, 27. That's all. Okay, with 3. Next with 6, 6, 9, 15, 6, 9, 27 and 6, 15, 27. Okay, then what is the last one? With the 6, 2 possibilities are over. Now next last one is 9, 15, 27. That's all. Okay, now what is asked? These are the samples. What is given? List all possible samples of size 3 that can be taken without replacement from the finite population. This is the first part. So first part is over. This is the population given. Right. Now you take the mean of, second part is calculate the mean of each of the sample listed in A and assign each sample a probability of 1 by 10. Okay. Now, if you take the mean of this 3, 6, 9, 9 plus 9, 18 divided by 3. So, I am going to write these xi values, xi or x bar. This is the mean, mean of each sample I am going to write. So, x bar. So, if you find out for all, you will be getting these values 6, 8. I am writing in the order, not in this order. Okay, 6, increasing order I am writing. 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. These are the values you are going to get. Okay, so 10 values you will get. 10 samples are there, no? Yes, 10 samples and 10 values for this. Now you are asked to assign this each value 1 by 10, probability 1 by 10. For each value I am assigning the probability 1 by 10. Now what is asked? Mean of the population. Let us find out. So mean of the population. What is the population here? Here 5 values are given. No, they are the population. That is 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus 15 plus 27 divided by 5. The value will be 12. 60 divided, if you add everything, you will be getting 60 divided by 5, which is 12. And these are the means of the population. These are means of the population. Okay. Now, what is asked? Now, verify that mean of these x bar is equal to 12, which is equal to the mean of the population. Mean of the population, just now we have seen, mean of the population is, this is our theta. Okay, this is our theta. You have to find out the mean of this x bar and you have to prove that it is equal to 12. If you can prove that, then x is an unbiased estimate of theta. Okay. So E of x bar is equal to, how will you write? You have probability, right? 6 into 1 by 10 plus 8 into 1 by 10 plus 9 into 1 by 10 and so on. So 6 into 1 by 10 plus 8 into 1 by 10 plus 9 into 1 by 10 plus etc. Last will be 17 into 1 by 10. If you find out these values, you will be getting 120 divided by 10, which is 12, which is our population mean. Population mean, just now we have proved that it is theta. Therefore, E of x bar is equal to, we have proved that E of x bar is equal to theta. Therefore, x bar is an unbiased estimate of theta. Unbiased estimate of theta. Okay. If x bar is an unbiased estimate of population mean, then it is said to be expected value of x bar is the population mean, then you can say that it is an unbiased estimate of theta. Similarly, if it is an unbiased estimate of theta, then it will satisfy this condition, E of x bar is equal to theta. Okay. So with this, unit 4 is over. Only unit 5 is left out. I will try to upload as soon as possible. Thank you so much for listening and all the best for your exams.